You stand here, I'm gonna position myself here. Angles.
But hold on, if you stand there, you're gonna look a lot bigger than me though.
Yeah, exactly, that's the point. I don't think it'll work like that though. Just go ahead.
All right, well, this is all about angles too. This is our bicep board, and for the first time ever, I'm gonna show Nick how to utilize the bicep board. The bicep board was created by our good friend, who's right over there, Pete. He's over there somewhere in the crowd. And this is a big deal for us here at Slingshot. We have never sold anybody else's product, but when Pete showed this to me and my buddy Mike, when they took this to me and showed this to me, I said, this thing is amazing, this thing's wonderful, I'd love to be a part of it. And so you can only get it here at MBSlingshot.com. And we thought it'd be great to bring in a YouTube personality, somebody who's been in fitness for a long time, somebody that's power lifted, somebody that's done bodybuilding shows. So we got my boy Nick here, and we're gonna show him how to use it. One of the things that's unique with this thing is we don't need a lot of weight.
Okay.
You know, sometimes when we're trying to curl or we're trying to get bigger in general, we're gonna have to lift a little bit more weight. But this thing is kind of an equalizer, and it makes it pretty tough. One of the things that you guys are gonna notice is that it has a little bit of a groove here at the bottom, and it's got a little bit of texture here. And so it's gonna kind of make us hold the weight like this here. And it makes it a little bit more difficult to do a curl. Most of the time, we're just gonna be squeezing the bar. And as we were talking about when we were doing our back workout yesterday, you mentioned that you like to use straps. Why do you like to use straps sometimes when you're doing back training?
I like using straps for back training specifically just to take the grip out of the motion. So if you can remove having to engage your forearm and focus on squeezing your forearm, and then you can feel it so much better in just the muscle itself.
And you know, there's a time and place for everything in your training. So there might be times where you want to do pull-ups and you want to feel it in your grip and you want to feel it in your forearms. But there's going to be times where you just want to work your back. Same thing here with the bicep board. When we're training the biceps, I want to just feel it in my biceps. I don't want my shoulders to go on fire. I don't want my forearms to go on fire. I don't want my grip to be some sort of limiting factor at all. And so this makes it really challenging. So without further ado, we will throw some weight in here and we'll have Nick give this a go. So to start out, we'll just try to do a 30-pound dumbbell and just gonna slide it in here just like this. This is a prototype, so the finished bicep board will look slightly different than this. It actually has a little thing right here that's gonna lock the dumbbell in there safely, so it can't slide out at all. But for now, this is what we got, so we're gonna do that. Now we're locked in here, and we're gonna put our hands underneath here, and you wanna have your wrists kind of cocked back the whole time, and you're gonna curl in here. Give that guy a go.
Okay. Wow, already feels different. Far different than like what a barbell would feel like. Wow. Okay, and you push the palms up at the top?
Yep.
Oh, wow. This is different. I like this though.
And you can have your hands in slightly different places. You can try in a little closer, which makes it a little more challenging, or you can keep them out.
Oh yeah, that feels harder already. Yeah, sort of like.
Come on over here, Pete. Yep.
Oh wow, yep. Yeah, constant tension.
Biceps are blowing up.
This is beautiful. This would actually also be good like backstage at a bodybuilding competition too. Easy way to pump it up fast without needing a whole lot of stuff around. Right. Ooh, yeah. Close grip feels rough with the shoulders rolled in. That's a good tip.
For me, it feels like I'm really like flexing through the range of motion rather than just moving through the range.
Right, yeah.
And I can kind of squeeze it.
Yeah, there's no real way to cheat it.
What are some of your favorites when it comes to biceps?
Straight barbell curls, heavy, is what I've always liked a lot. And then I like pinwheel curls, which is basically a hammer curl, but inward like this across the body with really heavy weight. That's always been my favorite. And I like using heavy weight and lower reps. So like I'll start off with like 10 to 12 reps, but then I'll work up to as low as 6 reps sometimes, heavy, get that overload in. Right. And only 2 to 3 exercises. You know, not crazy volume either, 3 sets each.
All right, let's move into those pinwheel ones with the dumbbell. We'll do that next, and then we'll finish off with the spider curl with the bicep board, and then we'll also do some triceps. So we're gonna go through this quick. We're gonna do 3 exercises for triceps, 3 exercises for biceps. Real simple, real easy, showing you how to incorporate the bicep board, but also giving you guys some value on some other exercises you can do. So show us the pinwheel.
All right, so I go heavier on these, and I usually do these at the end of a workout to finish it, but it's not a huge deal when you do them. It's the same principle as a hammer curl, where you're keeping the hands neutral instead of supinating the wrist, but you're going across your body. So what I do is I take them to my sides, just pivot the elbow in, keep the bicep pinned against your side here as best you can, and without moving the elbow, just simply curl up to the opposite chest, just like that. And this really, you're gonna feel that brachialis muscle, which is that little bump between the bicep and the tricep that I usually have when I'm not fat. And these I keep kind of low reps, so like this is a lightweight because I just wanted to demonstrate. But I'll go up to, not crazy, but I'll go up to like usually 60 pounds. And I'll just do 6 to 8 reps with these. Again, usually at the end of a workout, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, pretty heavy. And we talked about body language before. With the heaviest set, the last set, I might go really heavy. I've done 80s before, and just maybe you get a little bit of some of that momentum in there, but you control it. So squeeze at the top, control it on the way down, but you get a little swing up there, just like that. And it helps overload the bicep. You don't do that every set, but it helps.
But when it comes to arms, for some reason we don't think in terms of like training the arms heavy.
Right.
And doing sets of 6 to 8 can be really, really valuable, especially if you haven't done that before. Like if you have pretty much always trained your arms and your shoulders in a 12 to 15 rep range, try just for a couple weeks of going 6 to 8 reps, or maybe even doing 6 to 8 reps in the beginning of the workout and doing higher reps as the workout progresses.
Everyone goes heavy with the legs and the back and the chest, and they get scared to do it on arms. Or they just do the extremes. They'll either do high reps for a pump with lightweight, or they'll try doing like a curl max out and see how much they can curl for like a max. But go right in between. Do quality sets of 6 to 8 reps with moderately heavy weight. Overload it. And like I said, I'll start off usually with a barbell curl, in which I'll start doing sets of 12. Go up a little heavier, sets of 8. And then usually these will be at the end, sets of 6. So you get a nice range there, higher reps and lower reps, lighter weight and heavier weight. And again, this is where you can use a little bit of body English, but you control it at the top and you control it on the way down. You're not going nuts with the body English either. I started doing one arm at a time the entire set a while back. Not that you can't get the same results by alternating, because again, there's benefits there too. By alternating, you do let this arm rest for a split second, potentially giving you more energy to get more reps out of it, which is still gonna be beneficial. But then the alternative is one arm at a time, no breaks. It's constant time under tension, really draining that muscle. So what gave you the idea to even come up with this? Like, where did this inspiration? Because this is a pretty cool piece of equipment.
For whatever reason, I've always been able to build my triceps fairly decently, and I've struggled with getting the bicep tension just right. And for whatever reason, I've never been able to get a really good pump with a barbell. I still use a lot of barbell movements for size, but this is time under tension. Somebody introduced me to time under tension a couple years ago, and I really just took a liking to it. And I don't think there's any bicep exercise that I've found that creates that constant tension through the entire movement.
Yeah, the stuff about tension is what you just mentioned, is the fact that it's hard to have constant tension. You know, a lot of times we go to do a curl, as you go to come towards the top, and this machine specifically has has a cam set up on it to kind of counteract that fact, because when you get to the top, there's really not that much resistance. So as you come here, you kind of fold back over and there's really not as much tension. So you've got to kind of lean into it or figure out the exact right spot in order to get that tension. Like if I want max tension, I got to basically just kind of move in here like this. And these are tough things to learn. They're tough things to feel.
I would find myself on these exercises almost trying to do something similar to what the board does.
Bring the wrist way back.
It gets dicey, you know,
right at the bottom of the wrist.
to try to put as much of the meat on it and do my curls like this.
Yeah, I've done that.
It just feels different. It feels better, and you feel, because it's keeping that tension out.
Right.
There's no resting at the top.
Got it.
So the open palm makes sense as to why you even see it with axle bars, sometimes pressing with axle bars. Open palms tend to feel better muscle engagement wise, so that makes sense. It is easy to over squeeze too much and start feeling it too much in your forearms and let that fatigue you, and also let the angle of a closed fist kind of take away from the contraction of the muscle a little bit. I mean, I'm sure everyone's curled and felt it in their elbow before, felt it in their forearm here before. This kind of takes that away entirely. So this is amazing because, like Mark just demonstrated, there's tension no matter where you go. You could be here, 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 doesn't matter. And you could lean forward at the top, you could stay back. The way it is with your hand having to stabilize that platform, the tension never leaves your bicep, which is why it's so obliterating. Like I feel like I just did like 18 exercises of biceps right now. It's cool, yeah, and like you said, it really nails that peak. Obviously the peak isn't a separate muscle, it's just a terminology for the shape of a muscle, but it works that. You feel like complete contraction and tension all in the center of the bicep. You can't rest at the bottom and get a break. Your hands are still having to stabilize that platform, so they're keeping everything engaged at the very bottom. There's no way to get a break and just cheat from this thing. That's crazy. Every gym should have one of these. That's a game changer, I think. So simple too. It's not some big mechanism that wouldn't be practical. I mean, this is easy. You can take this thing and hang it up with the rest of your handles.
I think people are gonna really wanna grab this thing.
Right.
And you could, but I think part of the beauty of it is that you can't grab it.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I kept resisting the urge to grab the edges. Good?
Yep. Just gonna flip the bicep board like yay. Slide her in here. This is an adapter that will come with the bicep board. This adapter can be used for single arm stuff as well, rowing, pulling. You could do, single arm tricep work with it. But right now, we're gonna do some triceps. So just slide it in there. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put our fingers in here. You can come over the top more and push down this way if you'd like to. But to start out, we'll go a little more strict. We'll try to go here and we'll try to go elbows in a little bit. So we're here like this. There's something unique about pushing with your hands. And I think that, when you go to, if you were to push somebody or try to push your car down the street or something like that, you're gonna use your whole hand and your whole palm. And even a push-up is a great example. Like doing a push-up on your fingers is really tough, right? But using your whole palm just kind of feels a little more natural. You're able to activate and recruit some more muscles. I built up those triceps. They look good.
Thank you.
Beefy.
I try. Trying to get that 800-pound bench like you.
There you go.
Ooh. God, you feel this all the way up to like the back of the shoulder, like the entire tricep.
You can see the board can handle a lot. There was like 180, 190 pounds on there. This board's not going anywhere. It's not bending. It's not.
Yeah, there's no flex in it.
With any of your training biceps, triceps, shoulders, calves, whatever the heck it is you're training, you can do it from all different angles. You can manipulate a ton by, going out wide with the elbows on this, and we can push down like this, or we can have the elbows in close and push down like that. Just mix it up and also do what feels good. Find stuff like, I think we sometimes forget, like this shit's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
So there might be some stuff that you really maybe don't enjoy as much as others, and sometimes it's necessary if you're gonna compete or something like that, but find a bunch of stuff that you really like, that you really enjoy. Last thing I'll show you is, this is kind of a pullover type movement. And for the pullover, I like to put my arms on here, kind of get in this position here, and we're gonna step back and let the arms stretch, and you're gonna pull over just like the old school pullover machine. I think a key is like as you get to like here, you wanna really make sure that you push the board down and in towards your hips. To me, that feels really good. It feels like, it feels a lot like the bench. People are like, how do you use your lats when you bench? But you can see as he's pulling the weight here, this is the way that you should be on-racking your bench presses. And this is the way that you should actually be pressing. When he comes out of this, right there, that's a little bit like a bench. Obviously the board is lower than where he'd bring a barbell. But the activation, the way the shoulders are moving is very similar.
Yeah.
to the way that you bench. Pick us a tricep exercise, whatever you want, buddy.
Want to do some close grip pressing?
A sure thing.
On the bench?
Let's do it.
That's a good one.
So go ahead and do a bench with this. Let's go close.
Okay.
First time doing it, so just move a little.
Oh, yeah, there we
slow.
go. There we go. Okay.
I guess the only thing you need to be careful is just when you put the bar back.
Oh, wow. It's kind of like earthquakey until you get the feeling of it, huh?
Yeah, once we get some weight on there, that'll go away a little bit too.
Okay. Well, this is cool. It's like one of those football bars, but a little more custom. For the record, close grip bench, even if you don't have one of these bars, close grip bench with a regular barbell, hands just like maybe like a foot apart or less, probably one of my favorite tricep builders. They're amazing. Great carryover to your bench press and just great for strength and development of the triceps. You don't have to have your hands close together like this. It's actually worse for your wrist. You can't move as much weight. So I keep it usually just like these two fingers are on the smooth part of the bar. These two will be on the knurling part of the bar. So it's just inside your shoulder width.
So some things to keep in mind, you know, when you're trying to specifically work a muscle, you know, you could train it a little different. Like, I mean, I could work on, you know, going heavy for the day or whatever, but really what I'd probably rather do is really just treat this as a tricep movement. And so maybe I'm gonna come down a little slower than normal. Maybe not ever lock the arms out.
Just really hammer the triceps.
Yeah, just make it a little tougher. And if I was trying to do like a max, maybe I would try to throw the weight around or something.
Right.
But
and you can throw it on different days too. You could probably have a day where you do treat it more like a bench press, and then a day like this where you throw it at the end of an arm workout and really just hit the triceps.
absolutely.
I like just like not crazy volume for arms. Like I said before, simple and sweet. The basics, the compound lifts are great. If I have that board in my gym at some point, I'll definitely use that thing because I think it's amazing. And then I like it, you know, 2 to 3 working sets, depending on what the movement is. So close grip, 3 sets at most, and not crazy in weight. There are days where it depends what your goal is. If you're trying to do close grip press as a variation to your bench press specifically, then it's cool to use a little bit heavier weight, a little bit lower reps, depending on what your training's looking like. I might have a guy do like a 3x5 with it with pretty heavy weight after his main benching. If you're trying to do it on a day where you're just really building the arms up, bodybuilding style, you can do sets of 8, 10, 12, nice controlled pumps, nothing heavy on the weight. Neutral grip like this too, one of the benefits is usually this grip like this will feel a little bit better on your shoulders. So if you ever have shoulder discomfort or issues pressing, try like a neutral grip. Same thing as with dumbbells as well. You can throw dumbbells up with a neutral grip, and a lot of times it'll feel better on your shoulders, and you'll still be able to target the muscles you want to target. I'll try one more set here, a little bit heavier weight, 225. So this would normally be like, this would be like a nice working weight, probably like a nice set of 10, set of 8, set of 10 if I were doing this fresh. If we were coming into normal close-up pressing for bench sake and this was gonna be fresh. Now after all the pre-exhaustion, it's more just about feeling it, less about reps, as long as you're getting some quality reps and time under tension there. And normally I do one more tricep exercise, which I might just do now without Mark. Skull crushers are another one of my favorite. Like my big favorite movements for triceps, close grip pressing, not in any order, just in general. Close grip pressing, skull crushers. And I love single arm dumbbell extensions, as well as the double arm dumbbell extension, but those are great. And I usually like warming up triceps with a cable, as you saw us do. I think that's the easiest way to get the joints moving nice, get the muscles firing without a crazy load on you. So it's a good way to warm up. And then these again, 3 sets. Typically keep them in that 8 to 12 rep range, depending on how I'm feeling that day. Usually I'll start with a light weight like this, do about set of 12, and just feel it out and take it from there. You notice how my upper arms are staying perpendicular, basically 90-degree angle. So I'm not really letting them fall back here. I'm not turning it into a pullover, and I'm definitely not letting them come forward as I extend the weight either. So lock them into place when you have it. Screw your elbows in. See my elbows are out to either side. Now they're screwing into my shoulders. So now my elbows are facing the wall in front of me, or I guess behind me, that wall. And then we're locked in place. Stretch the tricep, explode up. And now I just spent a lot of time holding that up and talking, so the set will be a little less breezy. All right. Biceps and triceps on the same day. You may find something different works for you, but typically, you know, if you can train them twice a week at least, it's the best way to go. They're a small muscle, so they don't need a lot. You don't need a ton of volume. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of sets. You don't need a million different exercises. Short, sweet, simple, stick to the basics. At most, 3 sets for biceps, 3 sets for triceps, 3 sets each, which is a pretty good volume day right there. If you're doing it twice a week and you feel like that's plenty, you can even do 2 exercises, 3 sets each for biceps and triceps on each individual day. So less is more, stick to the basics. And feel your body out too. If you're beat up from doing other heavy training, and maybe you're throwing in arms afterwards, and you're feeling just beat up, you can swap out the free weight movements like these, which are more taxing on your body, for cable movements. And especially if you have that board, the cable movements could go a very long way and they're a little bit less taxing on your body. You know, but if you feel good, free weight movements are always great. That's a pretty great arm workout. That was intense with that board. That made it feel like it was 2 arm workouts. That's the perfect way to kill a biceps and a triceps exercise. I'm Mark Bell from SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. Signing out.